So in this class, we are going to discuss the current affairs, mainly from the month of June 2025. Okay. So we will see. So we all know that UPSC is going to ask questions from current affairs. We can divide those kind of those type of questions into two sections. Like one is direct current affairs questions, and second one is current affairs inspired static topics. Okay. So whenever we are dealing with current affairs or newspapers, we have to identify in which part or from what way UPSC is going to ask questions from this particular topic which we are dealing at that time. Okay. So that kind of insight you have to build yourself. So hope everyone is reading newspaper on a regular basis, right? So in this class, we are going to deal with certain topics. These are topics related to economics and few science and tech topic as well. Okay. So let's see what are those topics. First one is Financial Stability and Development Council. Have you heard about it? FSDC. It's actually not a current affair, but there are developments on this particular topic. Okay, in the month of June. And also merchant discount rate. What is merchant discount rate? MGR. Okay, we'll see. And the third one, additional surveillance measures. ASM framework related to, now you can say it is related to economy, some kind of economic term. Okay, so deeper we will see what are those term mentioning, like term means additional surveillance measures framework. Okay, and the fourth one, digital payment intelligence platform, DPIP. Here, fifth one, priority sector lending, PSL norms for small finance banks. Okay, actually, priority sector lending is not a current affair, and small finance bank is also not a current affair. But there are some developments in that particular topics. Okay, that is a current affairs. So UPSC is going to ask you this particular small finance bank and banking sector, priority sector lending, etc. are very interesting topics from the perspective of UPSC preliminary examination. Okay, very important topic. Here, the sixth one, Sagarmala Finance Corporation Limited, SMFCL, Sagarmala Financial Corporation Limited, Finance Corporation Limited. Okay, related to public infrastructure. And seventh one, National Turmeric Board. National Turmeric Board. Okay, it's also an economic topic. Clear. And the eighth one, silver notice. Do you have any idea what this silver notice means? Any idea? It is not a completely economic topic, but something related to economy and international relations. Okay, this notice is a part of Interpol. Okay, you might have heard lots of notice which have names of colors like red notice, black notice, yellow notice, etc. So silver notice is also one among them. Okay, it's a part of Interpol. Interpol. Okay. And the ninth one, Rudrastra. Rudrastra. Okay. From these topics, we are dealing with science and tech topics. Okay. 10th, axiom formation. So you might have heard about, you might have gone through axiom formations and USA led mission. So we will see what are the important takeaways from that particular topic. Okay. The 11th one, Science and Technology Clusters Initiative. S&T Clusters Initiative. And the 12th one, Quantum Entanglement Based Communication Achievement. Okay, quantum technology is very, very important nowadays, and UPSC is or UPSC will ask questions from this particular topics. Okay. And the 13th one, Dhruva, Digital Hub for Reference and Unique Virtual Address. Okay, Dhruva. Okay. And 14th, Tiananmen 2 probe. Tiananmen 2 probe. Related to, can you guess related to which country? Obviously, China. Okay. And the 15th one, gene editing sheep. Gene editing sheep. Okay. And the 16th one, HIV prevention drug. Okay. So we will see each of the topics one by one. Clear? So first one, Financial Stability and Development Council, FSDC. Why it is in news actually? So recently, in the month of June 2025, Union Minister for Finance and Corporate Affairs chaired the 29th meeting of the FSDC in Mumbai. So FSDC is a council which deals with financial matters. Clear? So first of all, we have to study what are the formation. UPSC may going to ask these heads of this particular organization are part of this FSDC, or the Prime Minister or some etc. chairman of this FSDC. Such kind of questions UPSC will like to ask from this kind of topics. Okay, so we have to study what are the formations, including who is the chairman. Okay, who is the chairman, and what are the main functions. So what are the main functions? Clear? Okay, so it's established in 2010. It's actually established in 2010, and it serves as a high-level forum. Okay, it's a high-level forum to enhance financial stability. Okay, financial stability and inter-regulatory coordination. Inter-regulatory coordination, which means we have plenty of regulatory bodies like RBI, SEBI, PFRDA, IRDA, etc. We have plenty of regulatory bodies. Okay, so in order to make the improve the coordination between those regulatory bodies, FSDS is acting as a common platform between those regulatory bodies. Okay, to enhance the financial stability. Clear? So we understand that it is a high-level platform. High-level platform. It includes the heads of different regulatory bodies across India. Clear? Different financial regulatory bodies across India. So we will think that we will think that it's a high-powered body. Okay, but the actual issue here is, or takeaway, uniqueness here is, it is not a statutory body or a constant body. Okay, it's not a statutory body or a constitutional body. Okay, clear? And it also does not have any dedicated budget for its operations. Okay, it's a high-level body, but it is not statutory, neither statutory nor constitutional body. Clear? And also it does not have any dedicated budget for its operations. Clear? So it doesn't have much operational powers, doesn't have much financial powers. But this particular body is formed by the heads of different different regulatory bodies around across India. Okay, so obviously it's a financial body. There are high chance Union Finance Minister will be the chair of this particular body. So that's true. This particular body is chaired by Union Finance Minister. Okay, there are two chances are there. First one is it can be chaired by finance minister. If you are assuming, if you don't know the topic, and if you are having a question in front of you that like yeah, some X is the chairman of this body. There are two options. There are mostly two options. Sometimes they will ask UPSC is going to ask that Prime Minister is the chairman of this body, or Union Finance Minister is the chairman of this body. Okay, so such kind of tricky questions you should expect from the side of UPSC. Okay, so now we know that Union Finance Minister is the chair of this particular body. Okay, so it is for the inter-regulatory coordination. So it comprises the heads of different financial regulators of different sectors in India. Okay, for example, we have RBI here, SEBI, PFRDA, IRDA. PFRDA means Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority. IRDA means Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority. Okay, along with senior official from Finance Ministry and our Chief Economic Advisor. Okay, these are the participants of this, stakeholders of this particular body. Clear? And then what are the functions? The main function is to enhance the financial stability. Okay. FSDS focused on macro-prudential supervision, addressing issues related to financial sector development and promoting financial literacy. Okay. Financial literacy and financial inclusion. These are the main functions of this particular body. Clear? And yeah, that's all about FSDC. So now I have made possible questions related to this particular FSDC. So you please go through that questions, try to answer the question. Here, you have 1 minute. What is the answer? PC, simple.
So it's option A, only one.
Option A, only one. Okay, why did you choose option A, only one? Someone is saying option B, someone is saying all three are correct. Okay, let's see. So, these are basic questions from this particular topic. Okay, basic question from this particular topic. Let's check each statement one by one. Okay, the first one is it was established in 2010 as a non-statutory body. So we know it's a high-level body, and this one is very factual. 2010, we have to know about the facts behind this particular body. So it's established in 2010. It's true. Okay, and as a non-statutory body, this particular statement is correct. Okay, we have already discussed that this particular body is established in 2010, and also it's a non-statutory body and also non-constitutional body. Okay, clear. It aims to enhance financial stability and improve inter-regulatory coordination. Okay, this is also we have seen in the previous slides. Even if you don't know anything about this particular body, you can take this second statement as a correct one, because this is a positive one, a general statement and a positive one. Just enhances. It's a Financial Stability and Development Council. Okay, it's a high-level body. We know that. So, and it aims to enhance financial stability. Why can't we take this as a correct statement? We can. Okay, because it's a general statement. Okay. From my experience, I can say that mostly in the UPSC preliminary examination, general statements are always correct one. Okay. So second statement is a general statement. That is the main function of this particular body. It aims to enhance financial stability and improve inter-regulatory coordination. That's the correct one. Okay, clear. And the third one, it has an independent budget allocated by Ministry of Finance. Okay, we have studied that it is wrong. Even though it is a high-level body, it doesn't have an independent budget to maintain the operations of this particular body. Here, so that is the peculiar point here. It is a high-level body, but neither a statutory body nor a constitutional body, and also doesn't have an independent budget. So that these three things make it what these three things, like not constitutional body, not statutory body, doesn't have an independent budget. These three things make this body, what to say, a dependent body. Okay, it's a dependent body. Clear? Okay, it is a high level body, but a dependent body. Okay, clear. So the first statement is right, second statement is right, and third one is incorrect. So option B is the right answer. Only 2 is the right answer. Clear? So you should always be very clear about what they have asked in this question. So they have asked how many of the above statement are correct. Okay, how many of the above statement are correct? So option B is the right answer. Clear? Any doubt? Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. So we can move to the next topic. Yeah, this is an explanation for this question. And merchant discount rate, MTR. MTR. Okay. Actually, this merchant discount rate as such is not a current affairs topic, but there are some development related to this particular topic in the last few months. So why in the news? The Union Finance Ministry dismissed reports of the government that planning to levy a merchant discount rate on large ticket UPI transactions. Okay, there are rumors like the government is going to levy a merchant discount rate on large ticket UPI transactions, large UPI transactions. Okay, and the government dismissed that particular rumor. That is the news. Okay. Before going into the particular news, we have to know what does the name means actually, like the term means. The merchant discount rate. It's a fee. It's a fee that businesses, including merchants, must pay to payments processing companies for facilitating transactions. Okay, it's a fee that a merchant has to pay. Okay, whenever a payment UPI payment transaction is happening, the merchant has to pay a certain amount of fee. Okay, clear? Any doubt? It's clear, no? This is the basic clarity about this particular topic. So that fee is known as merchant discount rate. Okay, whenever I am paying some food vendors, etc., through UPI, the merchant has to pay a few amount as a fee. Okay, why he has to pay the fee? Like the transaction is happening there. So the bank and the intermediaries like you, for example, PhonePe, okay, they are providing some kind of service, no? So the merchant has to pay the service charge. That is the particular fee. Okay, that is the particular fee. So that kind of service charge is known as merchant discount rate. Okay. So it is done through digital payments methods such as credit card. Whenever we are using credit card, debit card, or UPI payments, the merchant has to pay this particular fee. Okay. So this fee is to compensate various entities involved in the payment process. I already told you the bank that issue the card or the account in which we are using the UPI. Okay, UPI. And the point of sale machines, the bank is also providing the point of sale machine, and also we have the network providers, intermediaries, gateways like for example Google Pay and PhonePe, etc. For this entire chain of service, the merchant has to pay a few amount. Okay. And the MDR encompasses all associated charges and taxes related to electronic or digital payments, typically expressed as a percentage of the transaction amount, which generally ranges from 1 to 3%. Clear? And this specific rate applied can vary based on certain factors such as volume of business transactions, the type of cards you use, debit card, credit card, or UPI, etc., and the average transaction value, and it's often referred to as average ticket or average sales. Like these are the main factors which on which the merchant is paying the fees. Okay. So one important thing is the merchant cannot transfer this fees to the customers. Okay, the merchant cannot transfer this fees to the customers. Okay, so they need to factor these fees into their overall business expenses and pricing strategies. Clear? And these MDR charges are automatically deducted from the merchant's account during the settlement of transaction batches. Clear? Yeah, here we can see the business owners are prohibited from passing these MTR charges into their customers. Which means if we buy something from the street vendor or any merchant, we don't have to pay the MTR. The merchant has to pay the MTR. He has to pay the MTR, this merchant discount rate. Okay, he can't transfer that charges onto the customers. Clear? We have to pay only the MRP, maximum retail price. Okay. So that's all about MDR. That's all about merchant discount rate. I think UPSC has asked about this MDR in their previous examination. Okay, their previous years. So one question from this particular topic. It's a basic one. Let's go through the question. You might have seen that in the previous questions, like UPSC have a style of asking questions, terms of like giving some term and define. UPSC is asking to define or what of the term means, especially terms related to economy or terms related to science and tech, etc. Okay, so try to answer this question. You have maximum 1 minute. It's very obvious, right? The charge to a merchant by a bank for accepting payments from his customers through bank's debit cards. Clear? It's clear. This basic idea behind the merchant discount rate. Okay. I think no need of further explanation. And the third one is additional surveillance measures. So if the UPSC is asked, UPSC will ask, right, this additional surveillance measures was recently there on the news is related to what? Okay, this is the basic question that UPSC is going to ask from this particular topic. Clear? So let's see why this particular topic is in news. Recently, the National Stock Exchange (NSE) has placed the shares of BSE Limited under the additional surveillance measures framework. Okay. So we know that we have two stock exchanges in the country, in our country, National Stock Exchange and Bombay Stock Exchange. Okay. Bombay Stock Exchange is the oldest one. Clear? So the Bombay Stock Exchange itself a stock listed in the National Stock Exchange. So please don't get confused. Both are stock exchanges, and that Bombay Stock Exchange itself is a stock listed in the National Stock Exchange. Clear? So recently, the National Stock Exchange placed the shares of Bombay Stock Exchange under additional surveillance measures. Clear? So we understand that additional surveillance measures framework is something related to stock exchange and shares. Okay. So that is the basic idea you should have. Whenever we are seeing this kind of topic, that is the basic idea you should have. Okay. This is something related to stock exchange and shares. Clear? So next we can see a bit deeper into the topic. Additional surveillance measures framework. It is a crucial regulatory tool. It's a regulatory tool used by the Securities Exchange Board of India. Okay, it's a tool used by SEBI. SEBI is the regulator of this particular stock exchanges and shares. Clear? Okay, this is a regulatory tool used by SEBI and stock exchanges like NSE and BSE itself to protect investors and maintain the fairness and integrity of the market. Okay, so it's a tool related for the protection of stocks or shares in the market. Okay, and it is designed to curb excessive speculation and volatility in certain stocks. Okay, it is related to curb the excessive speculation and volatility in certain stocks, which means the primary goal is to alert investors that some unusual price movements and speculative trading is going on or might happen on any particular stock. Okay. So in such kind of situation, such kind of scenario, that particular stock exchange or the particular regulator, SEBI, will use this particular tool. Okay. Use this particular ASM. Clear? The primary goal is to alert investors. Clear? There are some unusual price movements are happening or taking place, and we should not go for speculative trading. Clear? So in order to discourage the speculative trading and to alert investors, the SEBI or the market itself, okay, the stock exchange itself using this particular term, ASM. Clear? Okay. So the basic aim is to alert investor and to prevent market manipulation. Okay. And safeguard retail investors from potential losses. Clear? The triggering factors means stocks are placed under additional surveillance measures if they show unusual price or volume variations, high volatility, or other suspicious trading patterns. Like if we have huge amount of money, a single person, single entity can manage, or single entity can make it crash or make it thrive. I mean, the market stock exchange. Okay, so a single entity can buy a huge amount of stocks or sell a huge amount of stocks. So which will create huge price difference or unusual price volumes and volume variations, etc., high volatility, etc. So in order to avoid such kind of scenario and to alert investors, the SEBI or the stock exchange is using additional surveillance measures. Clear? And you should know that ASM has two categories: short-term ASM and long-term ASM. This is enough. Okay, this is enough. We should not, or we don't need to go further deep into this particular topic, because UPSC is going to ask questions from this topic, from this on this like it's not going to ask deeper questions from this particular topic. Okay, clear? So whenever you are seeing any kind of topics, you should have an insight that how UPSC is going to frame questions from this particular topic, like whether UPSC is going to ask questions which is deep from the topic or basic level questions. Okay, so in order to answer questions related to additional surveillance measures, this much information is more than enough for us. Clear? Okay, so except for good questions which UPSC is going to ask, like you can answer this question. You have 1 minute to deal with it. Try to answer it. Okay, good. Everyone is saying C is the answer. That's correct. Let's see. This mechanism under SEBI provides financial incentives. The person who knows the basic of additional surveillance measures know that it's not any kind of financial incentives. It's a surveillance measure. Clear. The name itself suggests that it's a surveillance measure. Okay. So, yeah, this is there are we can see the second statement. The framework introduced by stock exchanges to impose extra trading margins and restrictions on companies suspected of insider trading. Okay, to impose extra trading margins. This particular point we haven't seen on the previous slides. Okay, let's hold it. And the third one, a system used by stock exchanges to monitor and regulate securities that shows unusual price movements, volatility, speculations by imposing additional surveillance actions. Okay, it stands very close to the term. Okay, this definition stands very close to the term. And the fourth one, a risk mitigation scheme where mutual funds are required to conduct enhanced scrutiny of small cap and mid cap stocks before investing in them. It's a risk mitigation scheme where mutual funds, more particular about mutual funds. Okay. So from these two B and C, we can identify that this option C stands more close to this particular term, additional surveillance measure, that you will get from this statement is additional surveillance actions. Okay. So ultimately, we will come to know that option C is the right answer. Clear? Okay, let's go to the next topic. Digital Payment Intelligence Platform, DPIP. DPIP will be developed as a digital public infrastructure under the supervision and guidance of RBI. Who is the regulatory authority here? RBI. Okay. DPIP will be developed as a digital public infrastructure. Okay. Under RBI. GPIP refers to a foundation of digital systems that are accessible, secure, and interoperable, and supporting essential public services like Aadhaar, UPI, etc. Okay, it's a public platform, and which gives intelligence support to the public platform. Okay, to curb the bank fraud. So we will see what are the main points related to DPIP. It seeks to bolster fraud risk management by facilitating real intelligence sharing and gathering by harnessing advanced technologies. Okay. To prevent bank frauds. The basic idea of DPIP is to prevent bank frauds. Bank fraud. Here. And it will also strengthen existing fraud detection system by enabling coordination among banks. Okay. It ensures more coordination among banks. Okay. Real-time sharing of data. Real-time sharing of data between banks. Okay. This point is not necessary. Committee under Chairman Sri A.P. Hota. Not necessary. And the Reserve Bank Innovation Hub has been assigned to build a prototype of DPIP in consultation with 5 to 10 banks. Both private and public banks will be consulted. It's actually in the pipeline. So the RBI Innovation Hub has been asked to build a prototype. Okay. Clear. So that's the basic idea about. So we don't have to go. We don't have to remember this particular amount. Okay, it's not necessary. Clear. The basic idea is it's to deal with the bank fraud. This is a digital public infrastructure to deal with the bank fraud, to ensure to increasing the coordination among banks and to share real-time data. So that way we have to, or we can reduce the risk of bank frauds. Okay, so that's the basic idea about a digital payment intelligence platform. Okay, just keep that in mind. There are some other initiative by RBI to curb bank frauds, which are multi-factor authentication. Okay, multi-factor authentication mandatory for all electronic payment modes. Like when have you applied for UPSC? You guys are writing this coming prelims, right? 2026 prelims.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. You applied?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So whenever you are applying, there are a section for fee payment, like 100 rupees or some people. For some people, like demand and all, I think there is no
It's not
fee,
there.
right? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. For like such kind of whenever we are doing such kind of online transactions, we have been asked several factor of authentication. Like we have to go through different factors of authentication. Like we have to use our
Verification.
sorry.
For verification.
Yeah, verifications. Yes, exactly. That's the particular bank holder is the person who is doing this particular transactions. Like a bank has to verify. They will go for QRs. They will go for VPA. They will go for passwords, etc. Clear. And they will sometimes they will go for OTP, etc. Clear. So that is known as multi-factor authentication. Okay. And the second one is a zero liability for customers for losses due to negligence by bank or a third party breach. The customers are not liable for such kind of losses. Okay. There is a system known as banking ombudsman. Okay, just search about it. It's actually protect the rights of customers. Okay, this banking ombudsman system is to protect the rights of customers. So we can easily say that there is zero liability for customers if any losses has been made from the side of bank or for a third party breach. So such kind of security for customers will be ensured by banking ombudsman system. Okay, clear? Yeah, there are two websites, bank.in and fipin.in. Okay, this website will help users identify legitimate banking websites. Clear? This is authenticated one. We can use that. Here, these are the some other initiative by RBI to curb bank frauds. Okay, whenever you are dealing with any mains questions, so this information you can use there. Here, this is not purely a prelims topic, but a mains topic. So such kind of situation, such kind of whenever you are writing a mains answer, you can use this kind of information. Okay. Clear. Okay. So that's all about that digital public infrastructure platform. Okay. The next topic is priority sector lending norms for small finance banks. Clear. Priority sector lending norms for small finance banks. And recently, the new rule were issued by RBI under Section 22(1) of the Banking Regulation Act. So these are very important information, but these sections on all you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to remember these sections and all. Okay, but this Banking Regulation Act 1949 is very important. Clear. So RBI has the right to issue rules under this Banking Regulation Act. That should be the takeaway from this particular point. Okay. So this section and all you don't have to remember. Clear. So RBI is issuing new rules under Banking Regulation Act 1949. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So earlier there was a rule related to small finance banks. Okay, it is not for all commercial banks. It's particularly for small finance banks. Okay. That earlier they have to small finance bank has to lent 75% of NBC means adjusted net bank credit. Okay. Which means if a particular bank is, let's X be the small finance bank, so X has 100%, 100 rupees to give as a the amount 100 rupees to lend as a loan. Okay. So among this 100 rupees, 75%. That means 75 rupees should be lent for priority sector lending. Priority sector lending. Okay. That is what I mean by the 75% of NBC. Clear. Adjusted net bank credit. So earlier the rule was to lend at least 75%. Now the priority sector lending has been reduced to 60%. Okay. 60% of NBC. That's the main difference. Clear. So regarding priority sector lending, like the bank, for example, X is a bank, the bank will always go for profit. Clear. So certain sectors like what to say, Y is a very important sector. Okay, Y is a very important sector, and which gives a huge amount of profit. Okay, so if someone wants to invest money in the sector Y, so if that particular person will come and ask money from X, obviously X will provide money to invest in Y, sector Y. Okay, clear. But there are other sectors which is very important, but which will not give a huge return for us. Okay, there are other sectors which is very important, but which is not capable of giving huge returns. For example, agriculture. Clear. So, in order to ensure proper, steadily investment in such kind of sectors, this priority sector lending has been established in 1970. Clear? You understand? There are several sectors which has high priority. Okay, clear. So this priority sector lending has made mandatory in order to ensure investments in such kind of important sectors like agriculture, MSME, export credit, education, and renewable energy, etc. These sectors may not give huge returns, but those sectors are very important. I don't have to explain it further, right? We know that agriculture is very important. Without agriculture, we can't survive. Without agriculture, farmers can't survive. Okay, MSME sector is very important. Without investments in MSME sector, small manufacturers cannot survive. Okay, huge manufacturers, corporates will get investments anyhow. Okay, corporates will get investments anyhow, but MSME sectors won't get such kind of huge investments, etc. So government itself taking initiative to ensure a steady flow of investments in such kind of sectors. So that is known as priority sector lending. It's mandatory. It's mandatory for commercial banks. Okay, clear?
Clear, sir.
Okay. Yeah, the categories are we discussed that agricultural, MSME, export credit, education, housing, social infrastructure, renewable energy, etc. Okay, and this priority sector lending is applicable for commercial banks, including regional rural banks, small finance banks, local area banks, primary cooperative banks. Okay, clear. This priority sector lending is applicable to all commercial banks and all small finance banks and local area banks, etc. Okay, this priority sector lending is not applicable for payment banks. Not applicable for payment banks. Okay, there are different types of banks. Whenever you are studying economy, you will you will come across a portion known as banking system in India. Okay, banking system in India. In that particular area, you will study different types of banks. Okay, different types of banks. So, for example, differentiated banks. Okay, differentiated banks can be divided further into payment banks and small finance banks, etc. Okay, and commercial banks are there. Scheduled commercial banks are there. Cooperative banks are there. So, different types of banks you will come across whenever you are studying this banking system in India in your economy subject. Okay, so the priority sector lending is applicable to commercial banks, including regional rural banks and small finance banks, local area banks, etc. Clear? This is a few information related to small finance banks. Okay, actually, small finance bank is a not a what to say current affair, but it has been first announced in budget of 2014-15. Okay, it has been announced in the budget of Union budget of 2014-15. Clear? It always registered as a public limited company under Companies Act of 2013. Under Companies Act of 2013. Clear? And we have seen that by using the power of Banking Regulation Act of 1949, RBI can give license to this particular companies. Clear? Or RBI can issue new rules on these particular companies. Clear? Okay, the objective is to improve the financial inclusion. Clear? See, there are certain areas, certain sections of society in which the commercial banks, the scheduled huge banks like SBI, etc., cannot reach. Okay, so in such sections, in such areas, that these differentiated banks, including payment banks, small finance banks, are acting and ensuring the inclusion, financial inclusion. Clear? Okay. And it acts as a savings vehicle to underserved and unserved sections. Okay, underserved and unserved sections. Okay, like supply of credit for small business units and small farmers, etc. Ultimately ensuring the what? Financial inclusion. Okay, financial inclusion. Clear? And yeah, the technical requirements, which means the capital requirements. A minimum paid up capital of 100 crore should be there. Okay. A minimum paid up capital for small bank shall be 100 crores. Here. And also the minimum paid up voting equity capital requirement shall be 200 crore. Here. And for primary urban cooperative banks, like there are different banks I told you, and the primary urban cooperative banks, they can transition into small finance banks by improving the net worth, by increasing the capital. Okay, there are, if I explain this right now, it will be more complicated. Clear? So you just go through your economy subject, you will understand. Okay. So if you, for example, you can convert certain banks into certain other banks. For example, you can convert this urban bank into small finance bank. That is possible. That is what we are discussing here. Okay, clear? So that's all about small finance banks. Any doubt? Have you gone through your economy? Have you completed the economy part?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you already have studied about this. Okay. So just revise that multiple times. That is what you have to do. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And the next important topic is Sagamala Finance Corporation Limited. Sagamala is a old initiative of Government of India. Okay. So the current affair is Sagamala Finance Corporation Limited, SMFCL. Okay. It is India's first non-banking financial company in the maritime sector. Okay. So you also might have studied about NBFCs, non-banking financial companies. Okay. Which is also providing credit, lending, etc., loans, etc., but doesn't have any options for savings. Okay. So that is known as non-banking financial company. Doesn't have any universal banking options, but it provides some kind of banking services. Okay, that kind of companies are known as NBFCs. Clear. So this SMFCL is India's first NBFC in the maritime sector. Okay, clear. Okay, so we have to understand that it is a mini Ratna, category 1 mini Ratna, central public sector undertaking under the Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways. Okay. So there are certain companies based on the volume of business we can convert. We can differentiate companies into Maharatnas, Navaratna and Mini Ratna. Okay. Mini Ratna companies. Here. So this particular Sagarmala Finance Corporation Limited, that includes under the category of Mini Ratna category 1. Okay. Mini Ratna category 1. Clear. And it is a registered NBFC under RBI. Okay. It will offer tailored financial product to diverse range of stakeholders such as port authority and shipping companies. We have seen that it is an NBFC in the maritime sector. Okay, it is an NBFC in the maritime sector. It will also support strategic sectors like shipbuilding, renewable energy, cruise tourism, and maritime education. Okay, cruise tourism and maritime education. Clear? Okay. So that's all about Sagarmala Finance Corporation Limited. Clear? So you can search regarding Navaratna, Maharatna, and Mini Ratna companies. Okay. Clear? There are certain. These are the differentiation or classification of companies based on their business volumes. Okay. How important, how big their shares in the economy. Okay. Here that's a homework. Just find it out. Here. Next important topic is National Turmeric Board. The basic information, it is headquartered in Telangana. Okay, the National Turmeric Board the headquarters has been inaugurated in Nisamabad, Telangana. Okay, so in the TYQ, UPSC asked about rubber board. Rubber board. That is why this particular topic is very important. UPSC may ask questions related to different boards of agriculture. Okay, rubber board, turmeric board, spices board, etc. Okay. And regarding the turmeric board, aims to provide leadership on turmeric related matters, augment the efforts, facilitate greater coordination with spices board and other government agencies in development and growth of the turmeric sector. So basic general statement. Okay. And this board comes under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, not under Ministry of, not under Ministry of Agriculture, not under Ministry of Agriculture, not under Ministry of External Affairs, not under Home Ministry, etc., but under Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Okay, clear. So that should be very clear. Okay, the headquarters comes in Telangana under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, and this composition, etc., is not very important. Anyhow, you have to understand that it is appointed by central government, members from Ministry of Ayush, Department of Pharmaceuticals, Agricultural, Farmers Welfare members, etc. should be there. Okay, clear. The role is to promote R&D, value addition of exports, awareness of turmeric benefits, yield improvement, supply chain enhancements to expand market. So these are general statement. Okay, so there is nothing particular in that statement. So such a statement is always correct from the perspective of UPSC preliminary examination. Clear? So that's about turmeric board. Now we have to understand a bit about turmeric production in India. Okay, India is the largest producer, consumer, and exporter of turmeric. Okay, India is the largest producer, consumer, and exporter of turmeric. Clear? About 30 varieties of turmeric are grown in over 20 states in the country. Okay, 30 varieties are there, around 30 varieties are there. And regarding the production, 70% of the global turmeric production are from India. Clear? 70%. Clear? Mainly from Telangana, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh. Okay, these four states together constitute 63% of domestic production. Clear? Which means southern states. Okay, Telangana, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh. Okay, clear. And regarding the export, more than 62% of the world trade. Clear. The leading export markets for India are: one is Bangladesh, UAE, USA, and Malaysia. Clear. The turmeric in India with GA tags. We already discussed that there are 30 varieties of turmeric are grown in India. So some of them have GA tags. Okay. Sangli turmeric and Vaigan turmeric Maharashtra. Okay. Sangli turmeric and Vaigan turmeric Maharashtra. Erode Manjal. Okay. Erode Manjal or Erode turmeric in Tamil Nadu. Lakadong turmeric from Meghalaya. Okay, these three turmeric have GA tags. Clear? GA tags means, you know it, right? Geographical indication tag, which means that particular product can be grown only that particular geographical area. Okay, that is what mean by GA indication. I mean GA tag. Okay, you understand, right? This known as,
Yes, sir.
yeah, this turmeric known as golden spice, and it required tropical climate of 20 to 30 degrees Celsius temperature and 1500 millimeter rainfall. Okay, and it requires well drained sandy or clay loamy soil. Okay, it's a very good antioxidant and anti-inflammatory medicine. Okay, so these are the basic idea regarding turmeric. This is very important. The climate and the soil is very important. It's a tropical crop which needs tropical climate, includes 20 to 30 degrees Celsius temperature, 1500 millimeter rainfall, and well drained sandy or clay soil. Clear? Clear? Okay. So that's all about turmeric board and turmeric. Yeah. Next topic is silver notice. Okay, silver notice. Why it is in use? The Interpol, who? The Interpol. Okay, this particular notice is introduced by or issued by or related to Interpol. Okay, the Interpol has issued the first silver notice on India's request. First silver notice on India's request. It was issued to track the global assets of former. It was issued to track the global assets. Okay, it is issued to track the global assets of former French embassy officer Shubham Shokin, who is wanted in connection with a visa fraud. Okay, Shubham Shokin. Okay, so this particular notice is issued to track the global assets. Or silver notice. It's the newest addition to the Interpol's color coded notices. Okay, Interpol's color coded notices are international request for cooperation or alert allowing police in member countries. Okay, allowing police in member countries to share critical crime related information. Clear? Critical crime related information. This silver notice is a newest addition to the group of colored coded notices of Interpol. Clear? The purpose is to track or gather information on assets of fugitives. Okay, on assets of fugitives and key accused. Okay, assets of fugitives and key accused, even if the assets are in foreign countries. Clear? So it is to track the assets, not to track any person, not to track any group. Okay, it is to track the assets of fugitives or key accused of different criminals. Okay. And regarding the collaboration on Interpol, India is one of the 51 countries participating in the first phase of this Interpol pilot projects. It's a pilot project running at least until November 2025. Clear? The first use, regarding the first use, the first silver notice was issued in January on behalf of Italy. Okay, on behalf of Italy. Clear? And that's not a necessary information. And limit each country can request up to 9 silver notice during the pilot phase. Okay, that's also not necessary. So what we have to understand here, or what we have to take information from this particular topic, that this silver notice is related to Interpol. Okay, it is to gather, it is to identify the assets of fugitives or criminals. Clear? Even if the asset is or assets are in the foreign countries. So that's related to silver notice. And regarding the Interpol, the headquarters is in Lyon, France. Okay, it is in France. So regarding the genesis, it's established as an International Criminal Police Commission, ICPC, during second International Police Conference in Vienna in 1923. Okay. Actually, initially it is established as a Criminal Police Commission in 1923. Later, it has been changed to Interpol in 1956. Okay. So currently, it has 196 member countries, and India is a founding member. India is a founding member. Okay. And from India, do you know which organization is representing in Interpol? We have National Central Bureau. Okay, is the point of access for Interpol. Clear? Each country have National Central Bureau. In the case of India, CBI, we know CBI, Central Bureau of Investigation, is acting as a National Central Bureau. Okay, is acting as a National Central Bureau to the Interpol. Clear? Do you have any doubt there? So each country, there is a particular agency known as National Central Bureau to represent each country in Interpol. Okay. In the case of India, CBI, we didn't create any new agency to represent ourselves in the Interpol. Okay, we have given extra additional duty to CBI. Okay, CBI is the agency which represents India in Interpol. Clear? So CBI is India's NCB, India's National Central Bureau, to the Interpol. And it has also developed Bharat portal for better coordination. The Bharat portal is for better coordination of Interpol in India. Here. So regarding the governing bodies, General Assembly, yes, General Assembly and Executive Committee, that is not valid information. I mean, that is not important information. Okay. These three. Here. There is a founding member and the National Central Bureau. CBIS acts as a National Central Bureau to represent India in Interpol. Okay. So these are related to Interpol notices. So you just try to understand the color codes and how or what the different color notices shows. Okay. The red notice is for wanted person. Clear. The red notice is for wanted persons. And orange notice is for imminent threat. If there is an imminent threat, Interpol will issue orange notice. Clear. And yellow notice is for missing persons. Okay, it is for missing persons. Purple notice is for modus operandi. Okay, modus operandi. Clear. And blue notice is for additional information regarding any topic in subject itself. And the green notice is warning and intelligence. Okay, for example, terror attack, etc. This is kind of warning will be issued to green notice. Okay, and black notice is for unidentified bodies, which means dead bodies, unidentified dead bodies. Clear. And this is the latest silver notice, which is in the pilot phase. Okay, for the identification and tracing of criminal assets. Clear. And there is a special notice known as Interpol UN Security Council Special Notice. Okay. It is for entities and individuals subjected to UNSC sanctions. Clear. So this is all about Interpol notices. Okay. This information you should have a basic idea about this information. Clear. Okay. So that's all about Interpol and silver notice. So don't forget who represent India in Interpol. National Central Bureau. Okay. NCB. Clear. So CBI is acting as NCB for India. Clear. Okay. So the next important topic is Rudrastra. Okay, Rudrastra. So from these topics we are dealing, we are going to science and tech sections. Clear. And Rudrastra, why is in use? Which means the successful trial Rudrastra is a UAV, okay, unmanned aerial vehicle. Clear. It's a drone. It's kind of drone. The successful trial of that particular drone has been conducted at Pokhran, Rajasthan. Okay. That is why Rudrastra is in use. Okay. It's a hybrid unmanned aerial vehicle and which demonstrated vertical takeoff. Okay, vertical takeoff and landing. Okay. You understand, no? Vertical takeoff and landing. Like a drone which can directly go for takeoff. No need of speeding up to this particular kilometer per hour. Okay, so it can directly take off and it can vertically land. Okay, just like a helicopter. Here, just take a like a helicopter. Okay, it is for real-time surveillance, accurate target engagement, etc. over a range of 50 kilometers. Okay, 50 kilometers. This is very important. So it's a hybrid unmanned aerial vehicle which is capable of vertical takeoff and vertical landing, and it has a range of 50 kilometers. Okay. Manufactured by Solar Defense and Aerospace Limited. It's not manufactured by DRDO, etc., but by Solar Defense and Aerospace Limited. Okay. So actually here the accurate target engagement range is 50 kilometers, but the total range is 170 kilometers. Okay, and the estimated endurance time is 1.5 hours. I mean the full battery with full power we can use up to 1.5 hours. Clear. So it can be equipped with anti-precision guided anti-personnel warhead with mid-altitude release capability, which means we can target highly precision target a single person. Okay. So mid-air we can release such kind of capability. Clear. And can be used for surveillance purposes. Can relay back live video and return to the launch position in automated mode, just like any other drone. Okay, that's the basic topic. So there is no much complex points regarding this Siddhartha. Okay, it's a hybrid unmanned aerial vehicle. And next topic is axiom formation. Axiom formation. What is axiom formation? So you have heard about it, right? Captain Subhanshu Shukla. Okay, it's an Indian astronaut. He's an Indian astronaut, and in this particular mission, a group of astronauts has been led by Indian astronaut Captain Subhanshu Shukla, and they went to International Space Station and successfully returned back to Earth. Okay, so that's about axiom formation. It is the fourth private astronaut mission. Okay, it's a private astronaut mission. You don't have to remember about the number. It's whether it is fourth one or it is not actually the first one that you have to keep in your mind. It is the fourth one. Okay, fourth private astronaut mission to the International Space Station. Okay, and in collaboration with NASA and SpaceX. Clear. It's a 14-day mission launched aboard a SpaceX Dragon spacecraft. Okay, it's a SpaceX Dragon spacecraft by Falcon 9 launch vehicle. Okay, the launch vehicle name is Falcon 9. Okay, these are private launch vehicle of SpaceX. Okay, SpaceX. You know SpaceX, right? The founder is Elon Musk. Clear. It's a combined mission of Axiom, SpaceX, and NASA. Okay. So the launch vehicle used is Falcon 9. Here, it's a two-stage reusable launch vehicle, and the crew module used is Dragon. Clear. So it's a reusable crew module. Okay, can carry astronaut into space and it can carry them back to Earth. Clear. The captain is Subhanshu Shukla. He is an Indian, and other group members are Peggy Whitson from USA, Stavros Usnaski, Poland, and Tibor Kapo, Hungary. These are not important information, but what is important for us from the perspective of UPSC examination, the group captain was an Indian astronaut, Subhanshu Shukla. Okay, clear. That's very important. And the aim, we understand that we have to, check, we have to ensure that we can bring back the same vehicle which launched the mission can bring back the astronaut back to Earth. Okay, bring back the astronaut. And the action for marks each nation's first mission to ISS. Okay, and for India, Poland, and Hungary, it is the first mission to International Space Station. Okay, so they have conducted two research in the International Space Station regarding microgravity, human physiology research, as Earth Observatory, imaging, etc. These are not important. Okay. So what important is, this is the first mission of India, Poland, and Hungary. Okay. And the following research and activities has been executed by ISRO. So India has done few research and activity in the International Space Station. Okay. First one is regarding crop growth. Study the impact of microgravity on 6 crop seed varieties for the future space farming. Okay. So microgravity impact on 6 crop seed varieties. And second one regarding cyanobacteria. So they observe the growth and activity of for use in spacecraft life support systems. Okay. The term cyanobacteria are aquatic bacteria that can photosynthesis. So they have checked that whether the particular bacteria is active in the space and can be used that for photosynthesis in space. Okay. And the third one, space microalgae. They compare metabolic and genetic activity in space versus Earth and its potential use as a food, a fuel, or for life support system. Okay, microalgae. And next important research is about myogenesis. Okay, not microgenesis, myogenesis. This is to study muscle loss, identify pathways responsible for skeletal muscle dysfunction in microgravity. Okay, this is something related to muscle loss and how the muscle dysfunction can be occurred in microgravity. Okay, and explore the therapeutic targeting strategies. Clear. Tardigrades. Okay, tardigrades means microorganisms. Okay, microorganism. They are also known as, I think, water bears. Water. Yes, they are microorganisms. Okay, they can only be detected through a microscope. So tardigrades. The next observation is related to tardigrades. Okay, they investigated the revival, survival, and reproduction of tardigrade to identify molecular mechanism of resilience. Okay, tardigrades is extremophiles. It's known as extremophile. They can survive in extreme conditions for extreme heat, for extreme cold in the space, etc. They will survive. Okay. Yeah, and the last important research is about how the computer screen and their impact works in microgravity. Okay. So these are the important research of ISRO in Axiom mission. Okay, this is very important. Clear? Do you understand regarding crop growth, regarding cyanobacteria, regarding space microalgae, regarding myogenesis, regarding tardigrades, regarding the computer screens in microgravity? Clear? And what is the significance of Axiom missions for India? Okay, so India is planning for Gaganyaan mission. Okay, it has to build its own, or it has to start its own human, which means it has to make indigenous mission to bring astronaut to space. Okay, so that's known as Gaganyaan mission. Here, so this particular Axiom mission, this gives valuable inputs for medical training, psychological preparation, and crew ground coordination, etc. Okay, so that's why India said Group Captain Subhanshu Shukla. Clear? And also, it is important from the perspective of space diplomacy. Okay, space diplomacy. Here we can see the ISRO's global collaboration with NASA and ESA, what is CSA, European Space Agency, and other private firms. Here, and also it will help India to develop India's space ecosystems. Okay. For example, space industry, and to build Bharatiya Antariksha Station. That's also kind of space station of India. Okay, space station of India. ഭാരതീയ അന്തരീക്ഷ സ്റ്റേഷൻ. Clear. And also, it's a national pride and inspiration. Okay, this is a very proud moment for India. Clear. Like Indian astronaut Subhanshu Shukla has led the team. Clear. Okay. So, from the perspective of UPSC mains examination, we have to study what are the major obstacles for India in launching a manned space mission. Okay. What are the major obstacles? Clear. What would be the major obstacles? We can divide that into technological and logistical obstacles. Clear. What are the technological obstacles? For example, life support systems. Okay. Like we don't have that kind of advanced technologies. It is to ensure air regeneration, temperature control, waste recycling, food storage, etc. So that much amount of technological advancement one country should have to launch such kind of manned space missions. Okay. So India is planning for Gaganyaan. So India is facing technological obstacles to ensure the air regeneration and temperature control, waste recycling, food storage, etc. Okay. And India is also facing technological obstacles in the case of radiation protection. Clear. Which means beyond low Earth orbit, cosmic radiations and solar particles will cause more serious health risks. Okay. So India should be, should be capable of dealing with such kind of technological issues. Okay. And next important obstacle is technological obstacle is, so whenever a spacecraft enters into the space and re-entering back to the atmosphere, a huge amount of heat, okay, heat will be generated. Clear. Whenever it comes into contact with the atmosphere, the friction will experience and a huge amount of temperature will generate a temperature up to 7,000 degree Fahrenheit. Okay. So there should be technological advancement like materials to deal with such kind of temperatures. So India currently lagging behind. Okay. Or India is currently putting more effort to build such kind of materials. Clear. To deal with temperature. Okay. And next is launch vehicle reliability. See, recently you might have heard about India as a workhorse. Okay. What is the name of the workhorse for ISRO? India as a trustable launch vehicle. What is the name of that? Most trusted workhorse of ISRO? PSLV. Okay. But for the last 2 missions are complete a failure. Okay. So we can't use, such kind of which has a failure rate. Actually, the PSLV failure rate is less, but the last 2 missions were a failure. So we can't use PSLV for the launch of a manned space mission. Okay, we can't use PSLV for a manned space mission. We have to ensure the reliability of the launch vehicle. Okay, because we are dealing with human life here. So a human rated rocket must meet stricter safety standards. Clear. So I think for Gaganyaan, India is going to use GSLV, okay, human rated GSLV rocket. Clear. So India is also working on that. Clear. And the other logistical obstacles, for example, higher cost. Okay. It is very, very high cost to send astronaut to space. Clear. Obviously, we know that we need launch pads, testing facility, tracking stations, launching vehicles, and other technological systems, etc. Okay. So it will be a huge amount. So that much amount is very difficult for India to gather. Clear. And training and selection of astronaut. For Gaganyaan mission, I think Russia is training Indian astronaut. Okay, Russia is training Indian astronaut. For the training and selection of astronaut, it's very important, and India is facing certain challenges. Okay, like for example, astronauts need rigorous physical, psychological, and technical training, etc. So, yeah, long-term missions may lead to psychological issues. Okay, these are few obstacles in front of India to in order to deal with space missions. Okay, so that's all about Gaganyaan missions and Axiom missions. So next we have to deal with International Space Stations. Clear. So it is in the low Earth orbit. Okay, around 370 to 460 kilometers above Earth. Clear. Then habitable artificial satellite, a huge one. You might have seen that in several Hollywood movies. Okay, so that's the same International Space Station. Clear. So it's a multi-country mission. The partners are Europe is there, USA, NASA is there, Japan, JAXA is there, Canada, CSA, Canada Space Agency is there, and Russia's Cosmos. Okay, we can see different countries, almost 5 countries: Europe, USA, Japan, Canada, and Russia. Okay, so it's a combined effort. And I already told you that it is in the low Earth orbit, and it orbits the Earth at the speed of approximately 28 kilometers per hour. Okay, completing one orbit every 90 minutes. It is very important information you have to keep in your mind. It is in the low Earth orbit. It completes one rotation around the Earth in every 90 minutes. Okay, and it's the largest artificial body in orbit, providing a laboratory in space, having an orbit such that it can fly over 90% of the inhabited Earth. Okay, there is a laboratory in space. That is where we have conducted different experiments. We have discussed about 2 experiments in the last slides. So all these experiments has been conducted in the library in ISS. Okay, so in the laboratory in ISS, not library, it's my mistake. And its first component was launched into orbit in 1998. Okay, and it will continue to be a working laboratory and outpost in orbit until at least 2030. Okay, see the country, all these countries. It's a combined effort of all these 5 countries, all these 5 space agencies, and they have launched different parts of this International Space Station into the space, and they have combined and created a total structure from the space itself. Okay, so the entire structure as such has not been sent from Earth. They have sent different parts of the International Space Agency space station, and they have combined the different parts and created the what is known as the space station today. They have created that space station from the space itself. Okay, the first component was launched into orbit in 1998. Okay, hopefully it will work till 2030. Clear? Okay, so that's all about International Space Station. So these informations are enough to deal with UPSC's questions, whether it is a prelims questions or a mains question. Clear? This is important from both prelims as well as mains perspective. Okay. And regarding Gaganyaan program, it will be India's first human spaceflight mission. Okay. It's actually approved in 2018, and India is actually preparing for this Gaganyaan first flight mission. Okay. Actually, India is planning to launch a crew of 3 members to an orbit of 400 kilometers from Earth. That means in the low Earth orbit. Okay, it's a 3-day mission, and the launch vehicle itself bring them back to Earth safely. Okay, this is the actual. Okay, this is the actual planning of the mission. Clear. There are several components for the launch vehicle. Okay, for the mission, which means we have launch vehicle LMV Mark III. Okay, launch vehicle Mark III. It's a human rated GSLV. It's a human rated GSLV. Okay, yeah, GSLV Mark III is here. It's a 3-stage rocket. First stage is solid fuel boosters strapped to the rocket core, and second stage is 2 liquid fueled clusters, Vigas 2 engines. Okay, the second stage is known as Vigas 2 engines. Third stage is cryogenic engines. Okay, 20 indigenous cryogenic engines. Okay, and in the third stage we are using liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen as fuel and oxidizer. Clear. So all this information is very, very important. Okay. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me. So this is the basic information. It is enough from the perspective of UPSC examination. But this information is very, very important. Okay. So GSLV Mark III, also known as LBM3, it's a 3-stage rocket. The first stage is solid fuel, and second stage is known as Vigas 2 engines, and the third stage is cryogenic engines. Okay, in which we are using liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen as fuel and oxidizer. Okay, and also in the orbital module consisting of crew module and service module. So in the crew module, it's the component in which we are sending 3 astronauts. Okay, 3 members. So actually they are going to check whether it is possible for India to build a Bharatiya Antariksh station in the space. Clear. So Bharatiya Antariksh station is also a space station. Okay, space station. Clear. India is planning for space station. It will be around 400 to 450 kilometers above Earth's surface in the lower orbit. Okay. So India is planning to launch the first module. So I have already discussed that we have built international space stations by sending different components, and we have combined all those components from the space itself. Okay, that's the same modus operandi that India is following to build Bharatiya Antariksh station in space. Okay, India is planning to send different modules, different components, and planning to combine all those components from the space itself. Okay. So for that, the first module is targeted to be launched in 2028. Okay. Which means this is 2026, and the next 2 years, India is planning to send first module. They're also planning to combine all those modules in or by 2035, and planning to operationalize the Bharatiya Antariksh station by 2035. Okay, clear. So that's all about XINFOR mission, International Space Station, and Bharatiya Antariksh station and Gaganyaan mission. Okay, if you have any doubt, you can ask me. It's a bit complicated topic, but it's very important. For mains or for prelims, we have to expect question from this particular topics. Very, very important. Okay, if you have any doubt, all right, then we will go to the next topic. So this is regarding a program of Government of India. Okay, the Science and Technology Clusters Initiative. So there is an annual report, Science and Technology Clusters Annual Report. So in the 2024-25 report that highlighted various initiatives launched under the program, including kalanubhav.in. Okay, it's a portal to promote science and tech. So, which is a AR VR enabled artificial marketplace. What is AR VR?
Augmented
Augmented,
reality,
yes, reality and virtual
virtual reality.
reality. Yeah, good. UPSC in its previous question was already asked about the augmented reality and virtual reality. And yeah, for your understanding, I'm saying this. And this Kalanubhav.in is a platform. It's a marketplace that uses AR VR. Okay, so that's about Kalanubhav. So we will see about the Science and Technology Clusters Initiative. It's actually launched in 2020 based on the recommendation of the Prime Minister's Science, Technology and Innovation Advisory Council. Okay. So you understand, we just keep that in your mind. It's launched in 2020. So the aim is to bring together stakeholders like academic institutions, R&D organizations, industry, and local governments to deliver demand-driven solutions to innovative ideas. Okay. So it's a what to say? It's an aggregator. Okay. It's a, the initiative is to combine all the stakeholders. Okay. So it's operates through a consortium-based approach. It focuses on science and technology based on regional problem solving, etc. Okay, focus on regional problem solving. These are general, features of this particular initiative. So you yourself, it is self-explanatory. Even if the UPSC asked about this particular statement, you can answer these questions. Okay, even if you don't know clear, each and every points regarding the science and technology by using the logic that if the UPSC has given a general statement, that particular statement will be mostly a correct one. Okay, by using that logic, we can identify that this particular topics are correct. If the UPSC asked about this topic in the preliminary examination, okay, that's what I'm talking. And okay. So yeah, the Office of Principal Scientific Advisor. The Office of Principal Scientific Advisor is nodal implementing agency. Okay. So that's all about Science and Technology Clusters Initiative. Not a big topic, but you have to understand there is a thing called Science and Technology Clusters Initiative. Okay. So see, this kind of information will be useful whenever you are writing a mains examination. Okay. Whenever you are writing a mains examination, you are writing a mains question related to science and technology, you can generate points that there are certain initiatives from the Indian government side, and you can quote this science and technology cluster initiative as an example. Okay. So that is how we have to use these kind of information in the UPSC examination. Okay. And next important topic is quantum entanglement based communication achieved. Yeah, quantum entanglement based communication achieved. Okay. Which is a great milestone for the quantum research in India. Okay. The DRDO and IIT Delhi achieved quantum entanglement based free space communication. Okay. What is quantum entanglement? Quantum entanglement means, from my understanding, I'll try to explain this to you. And there are two quantum particles, A and B. Okay. If the quantum particle interact with each other, even after some time, the particle either shows the characteristics of each others. Okay. See, these particles A and B interacted with each other. Okay. And after a few, suppose, just imagine after 30 minutes, also, each particle shows the characteristics of each other's other particle. That is known as quantum entanglement. Clear? Are you getting my point, or did I make it more complex? the quantum technology itself is a highly complex area. So just understand this much. Okay. So UPSC is not going to ask deep science of this quantum technology, etc. They will ask about certain terms. For example, quantum entanglement. Clear?
Yes, sir.
No. So I think that's it. That's yeah, regarding the experiments. And it is a part of design and development of photonic technologies for free space key quantum key distribution of DRDO. Now it's an experiment related to quantum key distribution. Okay, like yeah, leave the second statement. So that's a bit more science behind that particular statement. Go for this third one. Okay, the applications. Applications is very important. It forms the therefore real-time applications in quantum sector security, long distance, quantum key distribution, and the future quantum internet. These are the applications. That's enough. And the second statement is it's not very important from the UPSC point of view because it is more technical. Okay, so UPSC is not going to ask more technical related to any kind of subject. Okay, clear. So the other important terminology you have to understand is quantum key distribution. Okay, what is quantum key distribution? Any person from this physics background? Okay, as far as my understanding, it's a communication technology. It's a communication technology using quantum technology. Okay, clear. I mean, it's a communication technology using quantum mechanics. Clear. And which means, if I am trying to explain this, see some extremely small particle that simultaneously, will act as a particle, characteristics of both particle and waves. Okay, like they call it as wave particle duality, which means they will act as both waves and particle. Okay, so it's very complicated. Quantum technology is very complicated. So even if it is very difficult for me to understand itself, and even if I understand and even if I explain that, it is going to make you more confused. Okay, so just understand it is a wave particle duality, and it is wave particle duality. That's term itself is enough. So UPSC is not going to dig deeper into this kind of science topics. Okay. And this quantum entanglement already explained. Particles of same origin which were once connected always stay connected even when they separated by vast distance. That's what I have mentioned there. A and B are connected once and they shows each other's characteristics even after some times. Okay. And quantum cryptography. What about quantum cryptography? What is cryptography? It's an encryption technology. Okay. So quantum cryptography is encryption to secure the transmitted data in a way that cannot be hacked. Okay, so it helps to improve the cyber security. So that's the application, cyber security. Okay, so one important advice from my side is always go for prelims, previous year questions. Okay, in those questions you will come across different, advanced science technology questions. So in those questions, UPSC mostly asks regarding the applications. Okay, so UPSC used to give few applications, and UPSC will ask what are the applications of this particular technology. Okay, mostly the all given options will be the applications. Okay, all options will be the applications. So such kind of nature that the style of asking questions of UPSC you will only get if you go through the previous year questions. So I always recommend you to go to the previous year question. You will come across that such kind of science and technology questions. UPSC will always ask about applications. Okay, clear. So I hope you get basic idea regarding quantum entanglement, quantum cryptography, and the quantum key distribution. Okay, clear. These are few terms you have to keep in your mind. That's all. And the next important topic is Dhruva, a digital hub for reference and unique virtual address. Okay. The Department of Post has raised a comprehensive policy document outlining the framework for Dhruva. Okay, it's a national level digital address, digital public infrastructure. And it is the Department of Post, okay, Postal Department. So they have to create digital address, okay, digital address. Okay, which means we all, everyone have different addresses, okay, our own unique address, our house address, communication address, a permanent address, etc. So the Department of Post, they are trying to create a digital address. Okay, so that is known as Dhruva. That's the basic idea behind Dhruva, digital address. Okay. It's a digital public infrastructure by Department of Post to provide a unique digital address for every home in India. Now, told you we already have physical addresses, whether it is communication address, whether it is a permanent address, etc. But this is what we are talking about, virtual address for every home. Okay. So, yeah, that's it about this Dhruva. That's enough. Okay. If you want, you can go further into this particular. There are two key layers: digital postal index number and digital address layer. So the definition is not important, but you just keep these terms: digital postal index number and digital address layer. Okay. We have physical PIN number, but this is talking about digital PIN number and digital address layer. Okay. So that's about UPSC preliminary examination point of view. And from the mains perspective, they will ask, or we can think from the perspective of different stakeholders. Okay, for people like us, citizens. So it is easier identification for government schemes and, for example, ration delivery services, for emergency services, etc. It is easier identification for a citizen. Okay. So improvement in e-commerce, like if we give our virtual address, it is very easy for the e-commerce market like Amazon, Flipkart, etc. It is easy for them to deliver the parcel. Okay. And for other courier services also, it gives accurate address. Okay. For the private sector, the logistics and delivery optimization, that's like Amazon and etc. And eases address verification for banks, NBFC, telecoms, and fintech companies. Business can serve remote areas with better accuracy. Okay, ensure what to say, financial inclusion. Okay, and for governance, so we already discussed that it is very easy to identify the beneficiaries of government schemes. Okay, so the governance can be extended to underserved areas. With this digital virtual address. Okay, so there is no barriers, geographical barriers or connection barriers, etc. So all area can be bring under this particular virtual address. Okay. So it will help to extend the governance to that particular underserved areas. So it ensures targeted delivery of welfare schemes and better planning and urban management, etc. Okay, from the governance perspective. So that's all about Dhruva. Okay, clear. Next important topic is Tianwen-2 probe. So it is a China-led space mission. It is to bring samples from an asteroid near Mars. Clear? So it is a China-led mission to return samples or to bring back samples from an asteroid near Mars. Okay, that basic information is more than enough for you to attend any question related to UPSC preliminary examination. Clear? So they are using a long mast, the rocket launch named Long March 3B. Okay, Long March 3B, and the asteroid name is 2016 H03. It's not very important. Okay, so they are planning to bring back samples from an asteroid. That's it. Earlier they have sent Tianwen 1 probe. Okay, so it's actually landed on Mars surface in 2021. This information is very important. And Tianwen 3 probes also they have scheduled for 2022. Okay, this also aims to collect and bring back samples to Earth from Mars. Clear? That's about Tianwen 3. And Tianwen 4 mission is there. This to explore the Jupiter. Okay, Jupiter. So this information you have to keep in your mind. Tianwen 1, they have landed on the surface of Mars, and this is, we are talking about Tianwen 2. So they are planning to bring back samples from an asteroid near Mars, and there will be Tianwen 3. So these two collect samples from Mars. Okay, and Tianwen 4 will also be there. It is to explore Jupiter. Clear? So this information, you please keep that in your mind. UPSC has a habit of asking space missions of important space missions of different countries. Okay. So if you go through the previous year questions, you will understand these ideas. Okay. So yeah, we have two more topics. We will finish this class after completing these 2 topics. Okay. Next important one is gene edited sheep. Okay. So gene edited sheep. India's first gene edited sheep has been produced by researchers from Kashmir University in collaboration with ICAR. Okay, ICAR using CRISPR-Cas9 technology. Okay, is this CRISPR-Cas9 technology? UPSC has asked two times in prelims examination. Okay, so that's very important. And so there are some basic idea regarding the research. There is a gene named myostatin gene. It was in a lamp. Means it's on this gene that researchers has edited using CRISPR-Cas9. It's actually a tool to edit DNA. Okay, DNA or gene, etc. Okay, DNA is the genetic material. Okay, so here the researchers have selected myostatin gene in a lamp. Okay, and they have edited using the CRISPR-Cas9 technology, and it helps to boost the muscle growth by 30%. Okay, and also we have to understand that no foreign DNA was used. Only they have used indigenous sheep DNA. Okay, and which means they have just edited a gene. They haven't introduced a new DNA. They have not introduced a new DNA. Okay, so it is not a a new cloned sheep. Okay, it is not a new cloned sheep, but a gene edited sheep. Okay, but a gene edited sheep. There is a difference. They haven't introduced a foreign DNA, but they have just edited a gene. Okay, so you understand the idea. That's it. Yeah, earlier the National Dairy Research Institute had developed a gene-edited buffalo embryo. Okay, these are few information. Just try to keep that in your mind. So, what is the important point is this has been produced by researchers from the Kashmir University in collaboration with ICAR. Okay, in collaboration with ICAR. That is very important. Kashmir University plus ICAR. Earlier, there was a, Dhara mustard, a GM mustard, it's a hybrid mustard. That has been introduced by Delhi University and one India's important science body. So that has been a preliminary examination question PYQ few years back. Okay, such kind of gene editing questions is can be expected from the UPSC examination. Okay. So from the mains perspective, UPSC can ask what are the ethical issues behind gene editing in animals. Okay. Ethical concerns in gene editing animals. For example, there is high chance of creating designer babies. Like there won't be any diversity. Diversity issue would be there. Now, if you want perfect babies, we can create perfect babies by using this kind of technologies. Okay. So such kind of ethical concerns would be there. Just try to read these ethical concerns and also you try to brainstorm. You try to brainstorm and create different points. Okay. So this topic can be a question in GF3 Science and Technology, and also you can expect a question from this portion in the GS4 Ethics. Okay, clear. So that's about that particular gene edited sheep topic. The next important is HIV prevention drug. The US Food and Drugs Administration (FDA) approves new HIV prevention drug, known as lenacapavir. Okay, it is a antiretroviral medicine that is used for HIV prevention as a prophylaxis. I mean, we have to use it as a vaccine. That's the whole idea. Okay, it should be a pre-exposure drug. Whenever it just has to be used before we have to be in contact with that particular virus. Okay, that particular HIV. Clear. That is a pre-exposure drug. The medicine that can reduce the risk of HIV infection for individuals who are HIV negative but are at the risk of contracting virus. Okay. Just keep lenacapavir, the term, in your memory. Okay. UPSC is only going to ask what is lenacapavir if they are planning to ask this question from this particular topic. Okay. So you know about HIV, right? It's human immunodeficiency virus. It attacks body's immune systems, and you know how it is spreading. It spreads through body fluids. Sexual contact can be there from mother to newborn baby. It's possible. Mother to baby, it is possible. And when we are using blood transfer, okay, blood transfer, the spread of HIV is possible. Okay. So we have the treatment here, antiretroviral therapy, ART. Clear. And yeah, untreated HIV can lead to AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, which means our immunity in our body will be lost completely. Okay. So in the 2023 report, over 2.5 million people, which means 25 lakh people, are living with HIV in India. Okay. So that's it regarding the HIV. So this name of the drug is very important, lenacapavir. Okay. That's it. Thank you. Any doubt?
No, sir. Thank you, sir.
No, sir.
So we
Thank you, sir.
So we can wind up this session. We will see in the next session. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, sir. Bye.